Far in the North Atlantic, where fire meets ice and landscapes seem carved from dreams, lies a country like no other. A land of extremes, of contrasts, of untouched beauty. This is Iceland, raw, remote, and utterly breathtaking. Here, the earth feels alive. Volcanoes simmer beneath the surface. Geysers shoot boiling water high into the sky. And hot springs bubble in frozen valleys, offering warmth in the heart of the Arctic chill. Iceland is built on fire, shaped by centuries of eruptions, earthquakes, and shifting plates. It is a land that is still growing, still changing. And yet, ice is just as powerful. Massive glaciers flow across the land, carving deep valleys and feeding crystal-clear lagoons. In winter, snow blankets the mountains, and waterfalls freeze in mid-air. In summer, the midnight sun casts golden light across endless green fields and black sand beaches. Iceland's beauty is not only found in its famous sights but in the quiet corners. A lonely road winding through a moss-covered lava field. A herd of wild horses running beneath dark skies. A fishing village resting quietly on the edge of the sea. The wildlife here is just as captivating. Puffins nest in sea cliffs, Arctic foxes roam the hills, and whales rise from icy waters, their breath visible in the cold morning air. In a remote corner of the world where fire meets ice, there lies a place unlike any other. A stretch of black volcanic sand, kissed by waves and scattered with glistening jewels of nature. This is Dynjandi Beach. Located along Iceland's southern coast, this beach earns its name from the countless icebergs that wash ashore, broken free from a nearby glacier. These chunks of crystal-clear ice, some small as pebbles, others towering like ancient sculptures, shimmer like diamonds against the dark sand. Their shapes are ever-changing, carved by wind, sea, and time. The contrast is surreal. The black sands, formed from volcanic ash over thousands of years, create a dramatic stage for the glacial fragments. As the sun rises or dips toward the horizon, golden light dances across the ice, painting the beach in shades of silver and blue. It is a natural wonder, both delicate and powerful. The icebergs originate from a glacier lagoon nearby, where massive pieces of ice calve into the water and slowly drift toward the sea. Once they reach the open ocean, the tides gently return them to the shore, leaving behind a scene that looks like it belongs to another world. The sounds here are as captivating as the sights. You can hear the soft crackling of melting ice, the rhythmic crash of Atlantic waves, and the whisper of Arctic winds moving across the shore. No two visits to this beach are the same. The ice changes daily, even hourly. Tucked deep within the wild heart of Iceland lies a waterfall of ancient power and timeless beauty. This is Skógafoss, one of the country's most iconic natural wonders. A curtain of water plunges from a height of over 60 meters, or about 200 feet, straight down into a misty basin below. The force is immense, the sound thunderous. As the water crashes down, a cloud of spray rises into the air, often catching the sunlight and painting vibrant rainbows in its mist. But Skógafoss is more than just a waterfall. It is a symbol of Iceland's dramatic landscape, raw, untouched, and deeply alive. The waterfall is fed by the Skóga River, which winds down from glaciers high in the mountains, bringing with it the cold, clear water of ancient ice. Surrounding the falls is a vast expanse of green cliffs and rocky slopes. Birds soar above, while moss carpets the rugged ground below. From the base of the falls, you can stand in awe as the towering sheet of water crashes just meters away. You feel the spray on your face. You hear nothing but the roar of falling water. For those who climb the staircase alongside the cliff, a different view awaits. From the top, the river stretches out like a silver ribbon across the highlands, and the vast plains below seem to reach all the way to the sea. The landscape here feels eternal, untouched by time. Legends say a Viking settler buried a treasure chest behind the falls. In the wind-swept lands of southern Iceland, where glaciers feed rivers and the skies stretch endlessly, there is a waterfall that feels like it belongs in a dream. This is Seljalandsfoss, one of the most unique and enchanting waterfalls in the world. Water tumbles gracefully from a cliff over 60 meters high, falling in a delicate ribbon into a shallow pool below. But what makes this waterfall truly magical is the path that winds behind the cascade. Here, you don't just stand and admire the waterfall, you step inside it. Walking behind the falls is like entering a secret world. The air is thick with mist, the roar of water surrounds you, and the view through the curtain of falling water is like nothing else on earth. You see the sky, the open plains, and the shimmering pool through a veil of pure glacial spray. Seljalandsfoss is fed by meltwater from a nearby glacier, a reminder of the powerful forces that shape this island. The water flows down from the highlands, carving through rock and time, until it reaches this cliff, where it takes a final breathtaking leap. Surrounding the falls is a lush green landscape. In summer, the grass glows bright under the long days of Arctic light. In spring, the air is filled with birdsong and the scent of fresh rain. And in winter, the falls often freeze into crystal sculptures, silent and still beneath the snow. In the heart of Iceland's Golden Circle lies a waterfall of raw, untamed power, a place where nature roars and the earth seems to split open. This is Gullfoss, meaning Golden Falls, one of the most powerful and awe-inspiring waterfalls in all of Europe. Here, the mighty river flows from Iceland's second-largest glacier, winding its way through the highlands before taking a sudden and dramatic plunge. The water drops in two stages, first a short cascade, then a much deeper fall into a rugged canyon carved by ice and time. In total, the water falls over 30 meters, or nearly 100 feet, crashing into a narrow gorge that slices through the earth like a scar. The sound is thunderous. The spray rises high into the air, often forming rainbows that dance above the canyon when sunlight breaks through the mist. Gullfoss is not just a waterfall, it is a force of nature. The volume of water here is immense, especially in the summer months, when glacial melt feeds the river and turns it into a rushing torrent. The cliffs surrounding the falls are steep and jagged, shaped by centuries of erosion. trails lead visitors close to the edge, where the ground trembles slightly beneath your feet and the power of the water fills your senses. The wind carries the cold scent of glacier-fed water and the deep, echoing voice of the land. But Gullfoss also holds a story, one of protection. In the early 20th century, the falls were nearly lost to a hydroelectric project. In the vast, silent heart of Iceland lies a place where the earth tells its story in cracks, cliffs, and still waters. This is Thingvellir National Park, a land shaped by fire, ice, and history. Here, two massive tectonic plates meet, the North American and the Eurasian slowly drifting apart year by year. The land between them sinks, forming deep rifts and rugged valleys. Walking through Thingvellir is like stepping between continents. The ground is split open, and the scars of the earth are visible all around. But this is more than just a geological wonder. It is a place of deep cultural and historical importance. Over 1,000 years ago, in the year 930, the first Icelandic parliament was founded right here. People from across the island gathered in the open air to make laws, settle disputes, and shape the future of their young nation. The name Thingvellir means Parliament Plains, and the echoes of those ancient meetings still linger in the landscape. Stone outcrops once served as platforms for speakers. Grass fields became gathering places. Even today, the sense of ceremony and heritage is strong. The scenery is breathtaking. Crystal clear waters run through narrow fissures, fed by glacial melt from nearby mountains. One of the most famous is Silfra, a deep rift filled with water so pure you can see straight down for many meters. The surrounding cliffs and valleys are covered in moss, birch trees, and wildflowers, depending on the season. On the southern edge of Iceland, where the North Atlantic crashes against the land, there is a beach that looks like it was carved from another world. Dark, dramatic, and unforgettable, this is Reynisfjara Black Sand Beach. Formed by ancient volcanic eruptions, the sand here is not white or golden, but deep black. Tiny grains of lava, cooled and broken by centuries of waves and wind, stretch out across the shoreline like a velvet blanket. The contrast is striking. The black sand meets white ocean foam under skies that shift from blue to grey in moments. But the beach is more than sand. Towering basalt columns rise like stone cathedrals from the cliffs. These natural structures were formed as lava cooled slowly, cracking into perfect geometric shapes. They stand like ancient guardians watching over the sea. Just offshore, sharp rock formations known as sea stacks rise from the water. These are the Reynisfjara, dark, jagged pillars that legend says were once trolls, frozen in stone as the sun rose. Their shapes cut through the waves, mysterious and majestic. The power of nature here is undeniable. The waves are wild and unpredictable. They crash with a force that demands respect. Known as sneaker waves, they can surge far up the shore without warning. This beach is beautiful, but it is also untamed. Deep in Iceland's remote highlands lies a place that feels almost unreal. A land where mountains glow with color, steam rises from the earth, and the silence is broken only by the wind. This is Landmannalaugar, one of Iceland's most extraordinary natural wonders. The name means the people's pools, and for centuries, travelers have come here to rest, soak, and marvel at the strange beauty of the land. Surrounded by rhyolite mountains, the landscape bursts with shades of red, yellow, green, and blue, a painter's dream created by volcanic minerals and geothermal heat. This is no ordinary mountain range. These hills were formed by ancient eruptions, shaped by fire and ice over thousands of years. Their colors shift with the light, and each valley tells a story written in stone. Winding through this rugged terrain are hiking trails that lead past lava fields, hot springs, and steaming vents. One moment, you're walking on black volcanic rock. The next, you're surrounded by soft moss, bright as emerald. Snow often lingers on the peaks, even in summer, creating a stunning contrast against the warm hues below. At the heart of Landmannalaugar is a natural geothermal pool. The water is warm and soothing, fed by underground springs that bubble up from the earth. Surrounded by wild beauty, soaking here feels like stepping into another time, a time when nature ruled without interruption. In the remote Westfjords of Iceland, where winding roads lead through untouched wilderness, there is a waterfall unlike any other. Wide, powerful, and full of grace, this is Dynjandi, the jewel of the western fjords. From a distance, it looks like a bridal veil draped across the mountainside. Water cascades down in layers, spreading wider as it falls, creating the illusion of a shimmering pyramid. At the top, the stream begins as a narrow flow, but by the time it reaches the bottom, it spans nearly 60 meters across, a breathtaking display of natural symmetry. The name Dynjandi means thundering, and standing nearby you understand why. The water crashes down with a deep, echoing roar that fills the valley. It is a sound that feels ancient, the voice of the mountain speaking in waves. The main fall drops about 100 meters from the cliff, but it is only the beginning. Below it, a series of smaller waterfalls follow, each with its own name, shape, and rhythm. Together, they form a staircase of water, flowing steadily toward the fjord below. The path to Dynjandi is as beautiful as the waterfall itself. A gentle hike leads past each lower fall, slowly building anticipation. With each step, the sound grows louder, the mist grows thicker, and the view more magnificent. Surrounding the falls is a landscape untouched by modern life. Far from Iceland's main roads and tourist routes lies a land forgotten by time, wild, rugged, and beautifully remote. This is the Westfjords Peninsula. One of the most untouched and dramatic regions in all of Iceland. Here, the land rises sharply from the sea, carved by glaciers over thousands of years. Massive cliffs tower above deep fjords, narrow roads twist along the edge of the mountains, offering breathtaking views at every turn. This is not a place of crowds, it is a place of solitude. The Westfjords are shaped by nature's raw power. Wind sweeps over endless valleys, Snow lingers late into summer, and waterfalls tumble down steep rock faces, untouched and unspoiled. Each fjord feels like its own world, peaceful, remote, and completely still. Villages here are small and few. Some have only a handful of residents. Life moves slowly. Boats rest in quiet harbors. Colorful houses dot the shoreline. The people live close to the land, shaped by the same forces that shape the mountains around them. Along the coast, cliffs rise straight from the sea, home to thousands of seabirds. Hidden in the moss-covered landscapes of southern Iceland lies a canyon carved by time, deep, narrow, and impossibly beautiful. This is Fjaðrárgljúfur, a natural wonder sculpted by glaciers and flowing water over thousands of years. Stretching for about 2 kilometers, the canyon winds through the earth like a forgotten path. Its walls rise up to 100 meters high, twisting and turning with elegance. Covered in soft green moss, the cliffs look almost alive, shaped like frozen waves frozen in mid-motion. The river at the heart of the canyon flows gently, whispering the story of how it carved this masterpiece. Fed by ancient glaciers, it continues to shape the land, drop by drop, year after year. The water is clear, cold, and pure, reflecting the soft light of Iceland's ever-changing sky. From above, the view is breathtaking. The canyon opens like a storybook, winding, mysterious, and untouched. Narrow footpaths follow the edge, leading visitors to viewpoints that seem to float above the landscape. Each turn offers a new perspective, each moment more stunning than the last. Rising sharply from the northern coast of Iceland's Stokksnes Peninsula, there stands a mountain that feels like it was drawn from myth. Perfectly shaped, mysterious in every season. This is Mount Kirkjufell, the most photographed mountain in Iceland, and for good reason. Its name means church mountain, and from a distance, its steep, pointed peak resembles the spire of an ancient cathedral. Surrounded by open sea, rolling hills, and distant glaciers, Kirkjufell seems to stand alone, a quiet sentinel watching over the land and the water. What makes this mountain truly unforgettable is not just its shape, but its setting. At its base flows a small series of cascading waterfalls, known as Kirkjufell. The scene is iconic, the gentle rush of water in the foreground, with a symmetrical peak rising beyond. It is nature's perfect composition. In summer, the slopes turn green, and wildflowers bloom beneath glowing skies. In winter, snow covers the peak in white, while the northern lights dance above. The mountain never looks the same twice. Each season, each moment, reveals a new side of its beauty. Though not tall by global standards, standing just under 500 meters, Kirkjufell holds a powerful presence. On the southeastern coast of Iceland, where the land meets the wild Atlantic Ocean, a jagged mountain rises like a crown from the black sands. Bold, dramatic, mysterious, this is Vestrahorn, one of Iceland's most striking and cinematic landscapes. The mountain stretches over 800 meters high, with sharp peaks and steep ridges that cut through the sky like stone blades. Formed millions of years ago, Vestrahorn is made of dark volcanic rock rich in iron and magnesium, giving it a unique brooding tone that changes with the light. At its base lies a vast black sand beach, formed from volcanic ash and shaped by ocean winds. The sand is soft, fine and deep in color, a perfect mirror for the towering mountain above. When the tide is low and the air is still, the reflection of Vestrahorn on the wet beach creates a vision that feels almost unreal. Nearby, shifting dunes roll gently toward the sea, covered in tufts of golden grass. They move and reshape with the wind, giving the land a restless, living quality. In the distance, waves crash rhythmically, and seabirds circle overhead, calling out into the open air. Vestrahorn is a place of contrast: black earth and white snow, jagged stone and smooth water, fierce winds and quiet skies. In the heart of Iceland's southern wilderness, hidden within a national park of ice and fire, there flows a waterfall unlike any other. Elegant, dark, and perfectly framed by nature's own design, this is Svartifoss, the Black Waterfall. Its name comes from the towering columns of basalt that surround it. These hexagonal pillars, formed by slowly cooling lava, rise like organ pipes behind the cascade. Their deep black color contrasts sharply with the white stream of water that falls between them, creating a scene that is both dramatic and surreal. Svartifoss is not Iceland's largest waterfall, nor its loudest, but it is among the most iconic. The water drops from a height of around 20 meters, landing on smooth stones below. The sound is soft, steady, almost melodic, more like a whisper than a roar. The path to reach it begins in the lush Skógafoss area, where trails lead through forests of birch and moss-covered ground. As you climb, distant views of glaciers open behind you, while the sound of the waterfall slowly draws you closer. It is a peaceful hike, and the reward at the end feels almost sacred. The basalt columns that frame Svartifoss have inspired architecture across Iceland, from churches to concert halls. Along the remote shores of northwestern Iceland, where the land meets the icy waters of Hafnarfjörður Bay, a strange and powerful figure rises from the sea. Dark, weathered and shaped by centuries of wind and waves, this is Hvítserkur, the dragon rock of the north. Standing about 15 meters tall, Hvítserkur is a sea stack, a giant pillar of basalt rock sculpted by erosion. With two arching holes at its base, it resembles a creature drinking from the ocean. Some see a dragon, others a dinosaur, or even a monstrous troll turned to stone. Legends say it was once a troll who hated the sound of nearby church bells. Caught by the sunrise before he could flee, he was turned to stone forever, a reminder of the old stories that live in Iceland's wildest corners. Over time, the sea carved deep openings in its base, and seabirds claimed its ledges for their nests. Today, cormorants and gulls perch on its rugged back, and its black surface is streaked white by the birds above, giving the rock its name, Hvítserkur, which means white shirt. At low tide, the beach reveals a wide stretch of wet sand, and the sea stack reflects beautifully in the shallow water. The scene is haunting, almost dreamlike, with the ocean stretching to the horizon and the silent rocks standing watch. In the northern heart of Iceland, where ancient lava fields stretch toward the horizon and the skies seem endless, a waterfall flows with power and purpose. Wide, elegant, and steeped in history, this is Goðafoss, the waterfall of the gods. Its name is no accident. Goðafoss carries both natural beauty and deep cultural meaning. Over 1,000 years ago, it is said that a law speaker of Iceland, after declaring Christianity the official religion, cast statues of the Old Norse gods into this very waterfall. From that moment, the falls were forever known as Goðafoss, the place where old gods met the river. Today, the waterfall stands as a symbol of change and unity. Not only between past and present, but also between raw nature and peaceful rhythm. The water drops from a curved horseshoe-shaped cliff, about 12 meters high and over 30 meters wide, creating a graceful arc of white foam and mist. Fed by the glacial river Skógafoss, the falls thunder steadily through ancient volcanic rock, framed by rugged cliffs on both sides. In summer, the scene glows with green moss and golden light. In winter, it transforms into a frozen cathedral of ice, with snow clinging to the rocks and the water partially crystallized in motion. In the mysterious landscapes of northern Iceland, where geothermal forces shape every hill and valley, a massive circular crater rises like a scar upon the land. Stark, silent and ancient, this is Höfn, one of the most perfectly formed volcanic craters on Earth. Created nearly 3,000 years ago by a powerful explosive eruption, Höfn stands as a reminder of Iceland's fiery birth. The crater is nearly 1 kilometer wide and over 100 meters deep, with smooth black slopes of ash and loose lava that stretch outward in every direction. From above, it looks like the moon, dark, symmetrical, and otherworldly. Unlike many volcanic sites hidden away in the highlands, Höfn is easily accessible. A short hike up its gravel paths leads to the crater's rim, where a full circle trail allows visitors to walk along the edge. As you move, the view constantly changes, revealing Lake Mývatn, distant lava fields, steaming vents, and endless horizons. The landscape here is quiet. There are no trees, no buildings, just wind, sky, and stone. The air carries the scent of sulfur and earth, reminding you that this ground is still alive beneath the surface. Standing on the rim, the scale is overwhelming. In the volcanic north of Iceland, where fire meets water and the earth still breathes, lies a place of extraordinary beauty and quiet mystery. A shimmering blue lake surrounded by lava fields, steaming vents, and rare wildlife. This is Lake Mývatn, one of Iceland's most unique and fascinating natural wonders. Formed nearly 2,000 years ago by a powerful eruption, Lake Mývatn stretches across a wide, shallow basin. Its name means Lake of Midges, a reference to the tiny flies that thrive here in summer. These insects, though small, are part of a delicate ecosystem that supports a rich variety of life. The lake is dotted with small islands and strange lava formations. Some rise like ancient castles from the water, others form winding caves and tunnels, remnants of when molten rock met the lake's cool surface. It is a landscape shaped by extremes, and yet it feels peaceful. Around the lake, green wetlands stretch outward, hosting one of the most diverse bird populations in Europe. Dozens of duck species nest here, especially in summer, when the long days bring constant light and activity. The skies come alive with movement and sound. In the northeast of Iceland, at the foot of a steaming mountain, lies a place where the earth feels awake, hissing, boiling, breathing. A place with no vegetation, no silence, and no rest. This is Námaskarð, a geothermal wonderland carved from fire and time. The landscape here is unlike anywhere else. The ground is stained in shades of red, orange, yellow, and white, colored by minerals brought to the surface from deep within the earth. Beneath your feet, the soil is hot. The air smells of sulfur, thick and sharp, like struck matches in the wind. All around, steam vents rise from the earth, pouring out great clouds that dance and swirl in the sky. These are fumaroles, cracks in the crust where steam escapes under immense pressure. The sound is constant, a deep roaring hiss that never stops. Beside them, bubbling pools of grey mud churn slowly, as if the earth is trying to speak. These mud pots, rich in clay and minerals, are heated by underground forces that remain hidden but always present. Watching them is mesmerizing, a slow, endless rhythm of nature in motion. Unlike many of Iceland's green and serene landscapes, Námaskarð is raw and exposed. In the heart of Iceland's golden circle, surrounded by green hills and rolling plains, lies a volcanic wonder that stirs both awe and stillness. A perfect oval carved into the land, filled with striking colors and quiet reflections. This is Kerid, a volcanic crater lake shaped by fire and time. Unlike many other craters in Iceland, Kerid is not thousands of years old. In geological terms, it is young, formed around 3,000 years ago. Instead of rising high, it sinks into the ground, creating a bowl of red volcanic rock and sloping green moss. At its center lies a lake with water so calm, it mirrors the sky. The crater is about 55 meters deep and over 170 meters wide. A walking path circles the rim, offering breathtaking views from every angle. From above, the contrast is stunning: fiery red slopes, soft green vegetation, and the deep blue lake at the bottom. It is a natural painting, always changing with the light. Visitors can also walk down into the crater. A narrow path winds toward the lake, where the air becomes still and quiet. In a quiet corner of Iceland's Thingvellir National Park, where continents slowly drift apart, lies one of the most extraordinary places on Earth. A place not shaped by roaring waterfalls or towering mountains, but by silence, clarity, and deep time. This is Silfra, a fissure between two worlds. Silfra is not just a crack in the earth, it is a rift that marks the boundary between the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates. Nowhere else in the world can you dive directly between continents to touch both and drift in the space that separates them. What makes Silfra truly magical is its water. Fed by meltwater from a distant glacier, the water takes decades to filter through underground lava fields before emerging here. The result is some of the clearest natural water on the planet, with visibility often reaching over 100 meters. Every rock, every shadow, every ripple appears in perfect detail. The fissure itself is a narrow canyon filled with pure, icy water. The walls are dark, jagged, and ancient. Between them, divers and snorkelers float effortlessly, suspended in a dreamlike world of blue and light. There are several main sections within Silfra. The narrowest is called the Hall. On the southeastern edge of Iceland, where black sands meet wild seas and jagged peaks rise like ancient guardians from the earth, lies a place both haunting and majestic. A place where the landscape feels untouched, where time seems to stand still. This is Stokksnes Beach, one of Iceland's most dramatic and unforgettable coastal scenes. Here, the Atlantic Ocean crashes against a sweeping stretch of volcanic black sand, shaped by wind, water, and time. The sand is soft, fine, and dark, a striking contrast to the pale skies and snow-capped mountains that loom in the background. Rising sharply from the shoreline is one of Iceland's most iconic landmarks, the Vestrahorn mountain. Its peaks are jagged and steep, carved by glaciers and sharpened by centuries of weather. In the early morning or late evening, the light paints the mountain in shades of gold and violet, while the beach reflects its mirror image across shallow pools of water. Stokksnes is a place of movement and stillness. Wind races across the dunes, shaping the grass-covered mounds that dot the beach. The ocean is restless, its waves never pausing, yet the landscape remains serene, untouched, wild, and deeply peaceful. In winter, the scene transforms. On the southeastern coast of Iceland, nestled between towering mountains and the icy reach of a vast glacier, lies a peaceful town shaped by sea and snow. A place where quiet harbors meet dramatic horizons. This is Höfn, a coastal gem surrounded by some of Iceland's most breathtaking natural beauty. The name Höfn means harbor, and fittingly, the town has long been known as a fishing hub. It sits on a narrow peninsula, surrounded by calm waters and distant peaks. Fishing boats line the docks, and the scent of salt and sea fills the air. Life here moves with the tides, simple and steady. What makes Höfn truly remarkable is its location. Just beyond the town rises Vatnajökull, Europe's largest glacier. The ice stretches like a frozen ocean, feeding rivers, sculpting valleys, and creating shimmering lagoons. From Höfn, the views of this glacier are both powerful and humbling. The landscape around the town is a blend of contrasts. Sharp mountain ridges frame flat wetlands filled with birds and wild grasses. In the distance, black sand beaches meet the cold Atlantic, and on clear days the horizon seems to stretch forever. In the cold, quiet nights of the far north, something magical happens. The skies awaken, colors begin to move. Green, violet, and gold ripple across the darkness, like waves of light dancing on the edge of the world. This is the Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights, nature's most mysterious light show. For centuries, this wonder has fascinated those who live under its sky. Once believed to be the breath of spirits or the glow from distant fires in the heavens, the Northern Lights still carry a feeling of magic today. Even with science to explain it, the experience remains deeply emotional. The lights are born far above the Earth, where charged particles from the sun collide with the atmosphere. The energy released creates glowing patterns in the sky. No two displays are ever the same. Some are gentle, like a soft veil drifting above snow-covered hills. Others explode in brilliant curtains, shifting and twisting in moments that take your breath away. Iceland is one of the best places on Earth to witness this phenomenon. From late autumn to early spring, the long dark nights offer a perfect stage. Far from city lights, in the stillness of frozen valleys or windswept lava fields, the sky comes alive. Off the southern coast of Iceland, rising from the cold Atlantic waters, lies an island forged by fire and shaped by survival. A place where nature and history live side by side. This is Heimaey, the largest of the Westman Islands, and one of Iceland's most dramatic stories in stone. Heimaey means home island, and for the people who live here, it truly is. Despite its isolation, this small island holds a deep sense of life, community, and resilience. Surrounded by sea cliffs, volcanic rock, and green slopes, the island is a place of striking contrasts. But Heimaey is known not only for its beauty, it is remembered for its eruption. In the year 1973, without warning, a volcano tore open the earth just outside the town. Lava poured toward the harbor, homes were buried, lives were changed in a single night, yet the people stayed strong. With courage and effort, they saved the harbor by spraying the advancing lava with seawater, turning back the molten tide. Today, you can walk through the lava fields and see the remains of that moment in time. A museum built into the cooled rock tells the story of the eruption, with houses still partly buried under layers of ash and stone. Beyond the volcano, Heimaey is full of natural wonders. Towering cliffs surround the island, home to thousands of seabirds, including puffins. In summer, their colorful beaks and playful flights fill the sky. At the far western edge of Iceland, where the land meets the endless Atlantic, stands a cliff so vast, so steep, and so alive with sound, it feels like the edge of the world. This is Látrabjarg, the westernmost point of Iceland, and one of the most remarkable sea cliffs on Earth. Stretching for more than 13 kilometers, and rising up to 440 meters above the crashing waves, Látrabjarg is not only a geological wonder, it is also a sanctuary, a safe haven for millions of birds that call these cliffs their home. Here, nature speaks loudly, the wind howls, the sea roars below, and the cliffs echo with the calls of puffins, razorbills, guillemots, and fulmars. In the summer months, the cliffs come alive, as birds return from the open ocean to nest, breed, and raise their young. Among them, the puffins are the stars. With their colorful beaks and curious eyes, they waddle fearlessly near the edge, often just steps away from visitors. Nowhere else in Iceland can you get so close to these charming birds. But while they seem playful, this towering cliff is a serious place, a place of survival, shaped by wind, water, and time. The path along the top of Látrabjarg offers breathtaking views. Rolling green grass stretches to the cliff's edge, then drops sharply to the ocean far below. On a clear day, the sea meets the sky in a blue that seems to go on forever. Tucked away in the remote Westfjords of Iceland, where towering cliffs guard the shoreline and silence stretches for miles, lies a beach unlike any other. A place of unexpected color, calm, and solitude. This is Rauðasandur, the red sand beach. Unlike Iceland's famous black sand shores, Rauðasandur glows in shades of gold, amber and rose. The sand here is made of crushed seashells, worn smooth by centuries of wind and wave. In the soft light of morning or dusk, the beach shimmers with a warm copper hue, as if the land itself is blushing. Stretching for nearly 10 kilometers, the beach seems to go on forever. At low tide, the ocean retreats far into the horizon, revealing wide, mirror-like pools that reflect the sky. It is a place of endless space, where the sea meets the sand in a quiet, graceful dance. Behind the beach, steep cliffs rise like silent guardians. Above, seabirds wheel and call, their cries echoing across the open landscape. The air is fresh, the wind gentle, and the only sound is the whisper of waves. Rauðasandur is not easy to reach. The road is narrow and winding, climbing over mountains and descending through remote valleys. But for those who make the journey, the reward is peace. No crowds, no noise, just the raw beauty of Iceland, untouched and open. Hidden between glaciers, deep in the wild heart of Iceland, lies a valley of myths and mountains. A place named after the Norse god of thunder, this is Thorsmork, or Thorsmork, a dramatic landscape where nature feels ancient, sacred, and alive. Surrounded on all sides by towering glaciers and rugged peaks, Thorsmork is a sanctuary of green in a land of fire and ice. The valley sits between three glaciers, Eyjafjallajökull, Mýrdalsjökull, and Thingvellir, each one shaping the land, feeding rivers and creating breathtaking views. As you enter the valley, the terrain changes. Black volcanic sands give way to soft moss, lush birch forests, and clear mountain streams. It feels like stepping into another world, untouched, raw, and wild. Thorsmork is a hiker's paradise. Winding trails lead through narrow canyons, across braided rivers, and up steep ridges with sweeping views. On a clear day, you can see deep into the highlands and out across the southern coast. But this place is not just beautiful, it is powerful. The forces that shaped Thorsmork are still active. The eruption of Eyjafjallajökull in the year 2010 sent ash clouds across Europe and carved new paths through the valley below. It was a reminder of Iceland's ever-changing nature. Despite its remote location, Thorsmork has long been a place of refuge for wildlife, for travelers, and for those seeking peace. At the edge of the North Atlantic, where snow-capped mountains meet the sea, lies a city unlike any other. A place of creativity, calm, and quiet energy. This is Reykjavík, the northernmost capital in the world, and the beating heart of Iceland. Reykjavík is a city of contrasts, small in size, yet full of life, peaceful, yet vibrant. Here, colorful houses line the streets, their rooftops dusted with snow in winter or glowing under the midnight sun in summer. The air is crisp, the skies wide, and the rhythm of life flows gently. The city rises along a bay, watched over by distant peaks and shaped by centuries of history. Reykjavík means smoky bay, named for the steam that once rose from the surrounding hot springs. And even today, Geothermal warmth powers homes, heats streets, and fills outdoor pools, blending nature with modern comfort. Wandering through the city, every corner feels like a quiet story. From the bold design of Hallgrímskirkja Church, towering like a glacier, to the peaceful harbor where boats drift on still waters. There are museums filled with sagas, galleries bursting with color, and cafes where time seems to slow down. Art and music thrive here. Reykjavík pulses with festivals, performances, and creativity. Whether it's a quiet piano echoing through a small hall, or the glow of northern lights dancing above a silent street, beauty is always near.